Hey everyone, Mr. Forsten here, school counselor, and I would love to chat with you for a few moments about returning in January. I know we're already looking forward. I hope you take the time to just process some of these tips that I have that I think could be helpful to make our return in January successful for the rest of our school year. So let's jump in and get started with that. I'm going to switch some slides here for us. So the first tip that I have for you for returning in January is to review behavior expectations. Ms. Schneider and Mr. Lazier are on the same page that we know that after a winter break, halfway through the year is a great reset point for setting our expectations as we start the second half of the school year. So for many students, especially those that were pushing our buttons or pushing your buttons before break, it has been 2 weeks of freedom to do whatever they want all day. We have to remember that as we return in January. You throw in the lack of structure, scheduling that comes along with the holiday season, and you've got a recipe for classroom chaos when we return back in January. So it's important that we start our first day back right. You need to make sure that you plan to take maybe the first 15 to 30 minutes first in the morning, or maybe you spread that time out throughout the day in very specific points in your schedule to review classroom social contracts. Maybe if you had a rule list or expectation list that you created in the beginning of the year, you review that, go over it, and also review the behavior expectations. And that isn't always, something that you just have to first pinpoint. Maybe highlight how great the first half of the school year has been, and how they're halfway through the school year now, and that now they need to prepare for the next grade level. First half of the year, we're getting used to West Seaford, we're getting used to being back in the school, but now, more than ever, our students are getting ready to enter the next grade level. So let's treat them like our first graders are about to become second graders. Let's treat those kindergartners like they're about to become first graders and set that bar high for them. And when you're thinking about those expectations and those behavior expectations, let's be sure that we practice those bathroom routines. The bathroom use has been a struggle for the first half of the school year. We have lots of students turning on faucets and leaving them on. We have students that are crawling under the bathroom stalls and locking the doors. We have students that are leaving paper towels all over the floor, talking in the bathroom, and shouldn't need to be. So it would be important that we set that expectation and we let them know what the consequences could be. If you don't have a tracking system yet as to who's going to the bathroom when or how many times, it may be important to start establishing those kind of routines now, because in the future, that may become an expectation for West Seaford. And now would be a good time to test out some strategies like a sign-out sheet with a digital clock. I know that's what I used in the classroom. I would put a clipboard by the door on a cart that had a digital clock from the Dollar Tree so that students could see the time, and we practiced how to write the time and then write their first name, so that when there was an issue in the bathroom and I was asked, hey, between 1 and 1:30, who was in the bathroom, I would know exactly who was there. Maybe you use Class Dojo for that documentation, and you could pull up that report and look at who you've been signing out to the bathroom. That's important as well. Just like us specialists in the cafeteria, it's important that we set that expectation that students should not be going to the bathroom during lunch. That's a long walk. That's a long chunk of their of their lunchtime. And it puts them in a position where they're in the bathroom with students that could be in a larger grade level. So we always ask them, is it an emergency? Have they used the bathroom in the classroom? Because we see a lot of those students in the hallway going when you're in the classroom. And we try to get them to wait till after they eat. And many times they forget, or they don't really need to go. But we're documenting that on Class Dojo as well for you. This serves for two purposes. First, it's easy for us to ease back into our first day back with the students being sleepy, due to, the ability to go to bed or wake up whenever they want for those last 2 weeks. It helps to ease into our classroom routines of, ELA, shared reading, and math, science, if we go over some of those expectations, especially in that first day. Secondly, it returns us all to the same page, that we're setting the expectation for everybody to be on the same page, showing the same positive behaviors in those areas like specials, the bathroom, the hallway, the lunchroom. We know that. So take time to build that into your schedule. Like I said, Ms. Schneider and Mr. Lazier are aware that that is an important piece, and they know that we're giving that tip to reset, to take some time, to go over those expectations. For tip number 2 I have would be to welcome your students back as people. It's so important that we recognize and appreciate the changes that our students are bringing back to us. Give them some grace as they test your patience when they come back, because there's been a lot of freedom for the last couple weeks, and we have to take that in consideration when we're coming back. We need to try not to ask about gifts from the holidays, or maybe even using that word vacation, because if you aren't aware, some of our students don't see winter break as a vacation. We may see it as a vacation. We may be people that are able to go on vacations, visit places, provide a wonderful home environment. But some of our students don't go home to those kind of situations. And so not all students consider that time a vacation. I think that's important to remember. Holidays can be tough for a lot of people, including teachers. Sometimes asking students to share about gifts, vacations, or holiday traditions puts students in positions where they need to tell stories, make things up, or lie because they want to keep up with the other students in the class that maybe the perception is that they had a better time than they had. So let's think outside the box as they return with some fun activities, like their favorite day while they were off, or an activity that they took part in, or a game that they played, or something they did outside, and just being careful about the words we use. Now, if a student brings it up, yeah, we're going to let them talk about those things. They're excited. But I think just in how we explain and we talk and those opportunities we give to students, we can control that. Maybe it's important that we ask the students, what did you miss about school? Who did you miss from school over the last 2 weeks while they were out? That could be an option too. And also letting students write down maybe something that happened over rather than having them say it out loud, because it's a little bit easier. Or maybe using some way where they can video themselves, so that way they're not having to talk about it with their friends. Going on to our third tip, thank you for bearing with me and watching through the whole video. The third tip is to be on the lookout. This is so important. I'm so proud of our staff for looking out for students that are in positions where they need help, they need support, whether that's a jacket or they need shoes, or they just need to talk to somebody. So undoubtedly, some of our little people will have a harder time coming back to school than others. We know that. After spending a couple weeks at home, sadness is going to be natural. We're going to have a lot of kindergartners probably again that will exhibit a lot of behaviors like the beginning of the year, where they're going to be sad and cry because they want to see mom, they want to see dad, they want to be home with grandma or grandpa, they want to be home, they don't want to be here. So let's just be positive. Let's point out the obvious, that without a fact, they are going home today. And that sometimes brings a lot of reassurance that there's something to look forward to at the end of the day. Keep it positive. That's so important as we're on the lookout. Keep it positive and offer your students smiles and hugs. That threshold expectation that we have here at West will be so important on that first week back, more than ever. We need to let them know how excited we are to have them back at West Seaford, how we've missed them while they've been gone, how we've been thinking about them while they've been gone. That establishes a rapport and a respect and a love that those students can feel comfortable and safe in our classrooms. We will have to bring the energy that first day, even though we might not really have it. We're going to need to up our game and show the energy so our students know that we're excited that they're here, that we're excited to be here, and their excitement will match ours, hopefully. Again, be full of grace during that first week back. Much of the growth and the routines that you've established, that the students have had, will be lost after 2 weeks off. You're going to have to reteach, and reteach, especially those classroom routines, especially how to use the bathroom, especially how to ask to go to the bathroom. We're going to have to reteach that. We need to reestablish those dojo incentives, whether you've maybe never have put in an incentive and you've only been riding the dojo point chaser, maybe establishing some kind of way where they can cash out their points. And if you need help with that, there's some teachers that already use that effectively, or you can see myself and I will help you walk through how you can create some dojo incentives. That first week back would be a great time to have the students make a list. What are some things they would want to spend their dojo points on? If you don't reset their dojo points every day, this might be a great time to start doing that practice of resetting those dojo points. Maybe you reset them at the end of the week so that the way they can see who the point chaser is by the end of the week, week and they have something to work towards. And I would also say with that dojo, that first week back, I urge you to focus on the positives. I know it'll be hard. I would say unless it's a physical contact that needs to be documented, only focus on giving out positive points that first week back. And use that as those points of reteaching. Hey, I love how you raised your hand. Here's a point. I love how you remembered the expectation of how to sign out to go to the bathroom. Here's a dojo point. Oh, I love how you were participating. Right, here's a dojo. I love how you put your papers back in your notebook the right way. When I say get out your yellow notebook, you got it out. And give those dojo points specifically to students and use it as a positive. That's a huge tip that could help re-energize that dojo incentive. And we'll keep doing our part with those point chasers for sure. So I hope you are well rested. And if you've watched the end of the video, I have a challenge for you. I have a task for you to know that you've watched the video and I can kind of get some feedback. I want to know what is one thing that you are looking forward to over winter break. What's one thing that you're looking forward to? Maybe it's something simple like not having to do plans every day. Maybe it's being able to sleep in or wear your pajamas all day, whatever it is. What's one thing that you're looking forward to over winter break? You deserve it. You work hard tirelessly. I'm proud of you. And I know it's only coming from me, and I'm one person, but I am so proud to be at West. I'm proud of what we do here every day in and out for our students. And if we're positive and we're looking for those moments to be positive, I know that we will change the atmosphere here at West to be a place where people are just chomping at the bit to get here, to want to be here, have their kids here, work here, and that starts with you and I. So have a great break. You deserve it. Enjoy.